Right, last in the series of myths of Agile coaching, myth number 5, you need an Agile coach. I used to think you did. I'll be honest, maybe that was my ego. Maybe I didn't know better. There's no maybe about that, I didn't. But many people will say, you need an Agile coach, you have to have somebody there. You don't have to. You need oxygen, you need water, you need food. You need shelter. You need other people in your lives. These are fundamentals of our existence. You don't need coaching. And the reason that I say that is to keep my ego in check, if nothing else. But really think about it. You don't need coaching. You don't need somebody to come along and ask you questions and help you get clear on what you need to do next, on challenge you, on cheer you on, do all of the things that an Agile coach or a coach in general will do. You don't need it. You might want it. And there's a big difference between those two words, need and want. Okay? As Agile coaches, we have to remember we're not needed. Okay? You're going into a team that is working. Maybe well, maybe not. Okay? In an organisation that is able to pay your bill. They don't need you. They want you to help them improve. And we have to remember that. We have to remember that we are there in service of them. We are there to help them improve. Okay? And if they don't want us about, it's within their rights. It's within their remit to say bye-bye. And for me, that's an incredibly important part. I remember working with a team as an Agile coach. I was forced upon the team. There's no nice way. This is how most Agile coaching kicks off, is you suddenly appear. This team needs an Agile coach. Here's a John. That's kind of Agile coach shaped. Have a one of them. And they didn't want me there. So I did what any new Agile coach does. I started telling them how to improve. I started getting involved in conversations, in planning, in retrospectives. I started facilitating things, and they really appreciated that. It's like, yes, they do want me, they do need me. And a few weeks later, I went on holiday. It happens occasionally. And I came back and I asked them, okay, what was different? And they said, nothing. They didn't notice a difference with me being there or not being there. What I realised was that's because I wasn't doing the valuable stuff. Yes, I was facilitating. I was taking a pain off them so they could do that. I wasn't, however, focused on areas that were much harder to deal with, to get into the weeds of how to help them work with the organisation, the things that they weren't doing. And really, they didn't care that much about, there were problems, there were pains, but they'd been there a long time. They knew how it all worked. They knew how to get the system to work to their advantage. They didn't need me about. Over a few weeks, we had some very honest and open conversations about what my role would be with that team, because it was pretty much, look, I'm here. There's not a lot you can do about it. There's not a lot I can do about it. We're stuck. I'm not coding. I didn't code anymore, and I didn't code in the languages that they were using. So what makes sense? And it was a very interesting time in my career, because it really was learning they didn't need me. What we had to do was find out what value I could add beyond what you might be taught about day one, what a Scrum Master does. And really, it was keeping them honest. What they recognised was they had a tendency to let bad habits slip back in. So we built a working agreement about what I could and couldn't do with their bad habits. We actually built a list of bad habits. They were quite self-aware people. And over time worked on that and got them into a much better place. We built systems around them that helped them recognise their bad habits, actually worked with them to help them understand they could have conversations that they had avoided. They were good friends. They didn't want to break the friendship by pointing out how some of their bad behaviours impacted each other. I spent my time helping them work through the conversations, facilitating discussions about what was and wasn't acceptable in that team. And within a few months, we were back to square one. They didn't need me. Very humbling, but absolutely right. They didn't need me. They wanted me around, which was really interesting. We'd come full circle. We were back to, well, what does John do? And the honest answer was, we don't know. But what we do know is whatever we choose to do with our Agile coach will be to the benefit of us as a team. So myth number 5, you need a coach. You need Agile coaching. You don't. Okay? Please don't feel like if you are a coach that you have to impose coaching on people, or if you are the recipient, you're a team or an individual who has a coach knocking around the building, you don't have to interact with these people. But if you want to be better, if you want to seek ways to improve, Agile coaches are great collaborators in that journey. So that's the end. Oh. If you've got to this point in the video, I hope you've enjoyed it. If so, a like would be appreciated. If you want to hear more from me, more answers to questions that maybe you've got in the Agile world, please subscribe to the channel. And if you've got a question that you really want answered, drop it in the comments. I promise we'll get around to it. Thank you.